here. So welcome everyone to the third week of the Advisor Ambassador Program for February. We have a great program for you today, so feel free to chat along in the chat box below if you have any questions for Mr. Blake here. And if you want to share your screen as well, you can also unmute yourself toward the end of the program and ask questions. And I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Blake Gillies here, and he is going to share his screen and his story for being a playmaker in the financial services industry. So Blake, go ahead.
Cool. Thank you, Zach. Good morning to everybody. I would assume everybody's still morning where everybody is. So we'll go ahead and, whoops, let me give you all a brief preview right there. So I just want to say thank you to Zach and Emily for asking me to do this. It's anytime I can do anything to help NAFA, I try to do so. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to become a playmaker in the financial services industry. So I'm going to give you kind of a brief background about myself. I'm married to my wife, Brooke. I married January of last year. We have 3 dogs and 8 chickens. Brokerage director for Acacia Financial Group. I reside in Ponchatoula, just outside of New Orleans. For some NAFA involvement, I've been a member since 2010. I was Greater New Orleans president 2017 to 2018, and I'm currently Louisiana Board of Directors member, and I was 2016 Louisiana and G&O Yacht Person of the Year. I'm also serve on the National Yacht Committee, so pretty heavily involved in NAFA, and couldn't be more happy to do this and to be involved. Kind of my history since I started. I graduated college 2010, moved to Lincoln, Nebraska, did a 1-year internship at Emeritus with the Strategic Alliance Division, which really focused on driving some non-general agent business for Emeritus. From there, I got offered a job out of Dallas with the DI Center under Andra Grava. I did that until October of 2018, where I took a position at the Acacia Financial Group, where I still am today. So this is just a little bit about me. I've done one of these presentations in the past. I feel it's good that you understand that I'm a person, right? I live a life just like you all do. I enjoy hunting, fishing, spending time with my family and my friends. So I think it's always good to create some sort of personal connection so that, you can see, hey, maybe some people are going through the same things I am. So let's jump right into it. Enough about me. Let's talk about how we can really the steps, in my opinion, you need to take to be a playmaker in the insurance industry. So first of all is to have a plan. Secondly is to surround yourself with successful people. Third is to find a niche market. Fourth is to continue to build your practice. And fifth, and it's only fifth because of how the slides work, I think this should be first in the importance here. But I think joining NAFA is imperative to being successful in our industry. So let's talk about having a plan. That I've seen some presentations before where you ask a crowd, hey, does anybody have a business plan? And everybody raises their hands, and then you say, hey, who in this group has their plan written down? And all of a sudden half the hands go down. So my one, I guess, point of emphasis is write your plan down. That way it's easier to hold yourself accountable to that. Something that I have adopted since I started this business in 2011 was the one-page business plan. I think it is a very good way to lay out your goals. It starts very broad and then gets very specific as you go. Second, I think the 12-week year, it's a book I read, I think in 2015, maybe early 2016, and I have adopted pieces of that book in my practice today. What I love about that is the most important thing for me is an accountability feature. It really focuses you to have a group that can hold you accountable for actions that you say you're going to do. And then lastly, which has been of these three the most impactful on my business and my success, is the Full Focus Planner. I use it every day. Anybody that sees me, I always have my planner walking around, holding it in my hand. So what I really love about the Full Focus Planner is just this. This is one page of a book of the planner, and this is, you have, really it's broken down into weekly goals and activities. So in your book, you flip open, and this would be a similar day. You have your top three, really your most important tasks to complete that day. For me, this is things that are deadlines that I have to do in a certain amount of time. I do not like to leave my office until my big three are accomplished every day. And then you can see to the right of that, there's a time slot. So that's really your daily calendar for yourself to say, hey, I have a meeting at 10 or 2. And then I also time block in there that I won't answer phone calls. I won't respond to emails. It's really just time for me to focus on what I need to do. The Full Focus Planner has changed how I operate. I'm way more active than I was previous to using it. So definitely something, if you take away anything from those three pieces there, I think the Full Focus Planner is a very good thing to take from this. I think the second point in being a successful person in this industry is surrounding yourself with successful people. I think that can be done a couple ways. First is I think you need to form a center of influence group. This can be CPAs, attorneys, doctors, or it could be anybody not even remotely close to our industry. I have a website designer in my COI as well as somebody that owns a construction company. So it can be anybody of all shapes of life and industries. Just try to find somebody that you work well with, you have a good relationship with, and don't be greedy, right? Don't open every time you call the person asking for a referral. Don't be scared to share some referrals as well. The next thing that really I started in the beginning of 2018 was a study group. My study group is really a good way for us to hold each other accountable. We are all at relatively the same points in our career. What's really cool is that we're from all different parts of the country. No two people are in the same state, which gives you a very good idea of really what's working well elsewhere. We have, since our study group has kind of evolved, that we're sending daily text messages to the group, just checking in, letting criticism and help. And then lastly, I want to talk about really the three levels of industry relationships. This is a piece of one of these webinars that I did back in October that I talked about. Really, there's three levels in our industry of a relationship. And first is somebody who you look at as a mentor. Secondly, it is somebody that you look at as a peer. So that would be, in my instance, a study group member. And then third, it's somebody who you can mentor. So that would be somebody that's new in this business that you say, hey, I want to help you out in any way I can. And you kind of meet with that person once a month or whatever it may be and really help them take the next step in their career. So I want to talk to you really, how do you find a mentor, right? Because those of you might be out there saying, I don't even know how to find this person. First of all, I think you need to join NAFA. That's a very good way to have access to a lot of people who are successful in this business. Secondly, you need to look at somebody who is where you want to be. Say, hey, where do I want to be 5, 10, 20 years from now? And find somebody that closely resembles that and ask, just make the ask. Hey, do you mind meeting with me for a cup of coffee once a month? I'd venture to say that they would agree to meet with you. One thing that I've adopted in my practice is the follow-up after the meeting. Anybody that I have a face-to-face meeting with these days, I send a follow-up email that same day, really outlining everything we've done. I would suggest, if you do have a mentor, do that same thing and adopt that. It's a better way of holding each other accountable and really a good summary of what you two talked about. Fourth, I'd ask for feedback from the mentor. Let them know what you're doing, what decision you made. Maybe they have a different way for you to solve that or a way around it. I would be patient as well. These things aren't going to happen overnight. Don't think, hey, I go find a mentor and I'm going to be the best producer at my company in 6 months. That doesn't happen. This business, as you all know, is a grind, a daily grind. So you have to show up every day trying to get better, but having somebody that is in that mentor role for you will help you through those hard times. And then lastly, commit to the process. If you're going to ask somebody to take time out of their daily lives and their work day, you need to at least be committed to that process and take it seriously. So the next point is I think where I can speak highly to is finding a niche market. I think this is imperative to be successful in our business. You have to find a way to make yourself valuable to your clients, and in my role, to advisors. So I'll talk to you a little bit about what I do on a daily basis. So my niche market is the disability income market. I am a consultant, and I help agents and advisors really work through some either similar or complex disability insurance solutions. And that can be individual coverage, group coverage, business owner coverage. Really just depends on what the advisor is looking for or what the client's looking for. I will say that part of what I do is I try to educate my advisors, the ones that work with me, on why this product is good. In my opinion, it is the whole in most financial plans. And if I'm able to show that to the client and they're able to understand what's going on, it then shows or solidifies that advisor's relationship with the client. So I try to find ways to help my advisors solve their clients' issues. We all know everybody's number one asset is their ability to earn an income. So what I do is make sure that if something happens to them, that income is protected. The niche market, in my opinion, is one piece. A second piece of that is you need to do something that separates yourself, find a differentiator. Mine is my level of service that I can provide to the advisors that work with me. I am very hands-on. We really work from the sales concept piece all the way through the delivery of the product if needed. So what I am able to do is provide that really hands-on service and include me as part of your team, and that's my differentiator. In my market is my niche market's one thing, but what I do on a daily basis really helps me stand out from my competition. Fourth, I would say it is important to continue to build your practice, and that is earning some key designations, whether it be LUTCA, LUTCF, LACP, CLU, CHFC, CFP, we can go on and on, right? I think it is imperative that going back to the business plan and having a plan, you need to make a point that every year you are doing something that betters your practice, whether it's getting a designation, expanding to a different product portfolio, really whatever it is, just make sure at the end of every year you are getting better than you were the year before. And I talk about looking at other ways to generate revenue. That is something that I talk to my advisors about a lot. I try to get them to buy into the fact that, hey, if you're doing this amount of business here and we take a piece of that and grow your business on the other side, well, then that's another revenue stream for you. And also it's you're solving a problem for the client that may not otherwise be solved. And then I would be open to try new things. Something that I took on that I spoke about on the last slide was the concierge service. It's something that I borrowed from a fellow NAFA member out of Texas, and it's something that I was not open to, but it is more work for me. However, it provides instant results, and it has significantly grown my practice. So what I'm trying to say there is don't be scared to try something new, because it could end up being a really good decision for you in the long run. Lastly, I think, I said this at the beginning, I think this is the most important piece of anybody in our industry in being successful. It is to join NAFA. I spoke earlier, if you're having issues trying to find a mentor, there is an endless amount of people who are more than willing to be a mentor for you at NAFA. I have been able and had the pleasure to meet people from really every state across the country that are doing the same thing I'm doing, that are fighting the same fight, that I can pick up and they would answer the phone in a heartbeat. I would not have these connections if it was not for NAFA. That is flat out, the truth there. Secondly, why I am so involved within NAFA is the opportunity to impact our industry. I think NAFA is a very, very big on the political action front, and I think that's great. But what I think is more important for me personally at this point in my career is really what we're doing today, right? Doing a webinar for those of you who are not NAFA members that may be new in this business, that we are taking steps to ensure that 5, 10, 15 years from now, there's good advisors out there doing good things for their clients. So I think if you can take anything away from joining NAFA, I think it's that, the ability to really impact where our industry goes. And it has, for me, been the best career move I've made. I don't say that because I'm on a NAFA webinar. I would not be in the position I am today if it was not for NAFA. My current business partner, I met through NAFA. One of my best clients, I met through NAFA. I, through the National YAC Committee, have met numerous people throughout the country that, will be lifelong friends. And to me, that is more important than really the money I spend to be a part of NAFA. So why join NAFA? Really, it's because of things like the pictures you see here. The top left picture, we did a program, or the city of Metairie, Jefferson Parish, honored NAFA Greater New Orleans with Life Insurance Awareness Month. They declared it Life Insurance Awareness Month, and we got a proclamation for that. If you see in the middle, that is Senator Bill Cassidy. We got to meet with him through NAFA at a congressional conference last May. If you join NAFA and you have the opportunity to go to DC for congressional conference, I highly suggest it. It has opened up my eyes to the amount of influence that NAFA has and can have on the rules and regulations of our industry. If you look at the third picture, that is from NAFA San Antonio, which was our national conference last year. That's a majority of the National YAC Committee having a good time there. And that's the people that I told you that, I would not know who these people are. I would not be able to share ideas with them and learn from them if I did not join NAFA. And I think there's a last picture on there. I'm not sure, my thing's on here. I think that is with Bobby Brown, myself, Jason King, and my dad, Keith. That picture speaks a lot for me. Jason King has been the reason that I am in NAFA today. He's the one that challenged me to step up on the board. And Bobby Brown and Keith, my dad, are both staples in NAFA's history. Bobby Brown's a past president, and Keith was president last year. Just goes to show you that if those guys can take time out of their successful days and give back to NAFA, why can't we? I was speaking last week to a couple people, and I say every year I say I'm going to take on no more NAFA responsibilities, and I keep taking on more and more, and my practice keeps growing and growing. I have no explanation for it, but I can tell you the more I am able to give back to NAFA, the more I get in return. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that. So if that doesn't persuade or explain to you why I'm a NAFA member, I'm not sure what will. Oh, there's that last picture. It popped up on the end there. So there's a homework assignment here. So those of you on the call, if you submit a business plan, a copy of your 2019 business plan to recruitment@nafa.org, and get a copy of your contact information on that, I will send you either a copy of the 10 C's of Success or the 12-week year. Being that I know the author of the 10 C's of Success pretty well, I can get that book signed for you. However, I probably can't get the 12-week year signed. But anybody who does submit this by the end of this month, I will make sure to send out a book to you. So with that, I'm going to take some questions and see if anybody has any questions. Awesome. Well, thank you, Zach, Emily, and everybody on the call. Oh, looks like we're getting a message maybe. Hold on. Nope. So, look, anybody, Emily and Zach, if you don't mind, give my contact information to everybody on this call. If y'all have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or help you in any way I can.
Thank you so much, Blake.
Yep, no problem, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Everybody have a great Wednesday and a great rest of your week. Recording will be available sometime tomorrow. And again, if you want to send your business plan to Blake, that is recruitment@nafa.org. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.